What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. And supply.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Corey Johnson back at you, the neutral ground. There's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X, because we keep it politically correct here on the program. Latin X, that's so silly. All right, let's go from silly to the opposite. Cameron Gilly's with us. I've been talking about this guy for about a month now. How you doing, Cameron?
I'm pretty good. Recovering well.
I bet. Cameron Gilly ran the Leadville 100 last month. That is 100 miles in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, right outside of Leadville, this old mining town. The minimum height elevation is 9,600 feet. And Cameron, I think you guys go up and down to over 12,500. I think it was 15,000 feet you guys climbed.
That's correct.
Over 100 miles in the mountain. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around that, to be honest with you. let's jump into it because I was just blown away by this. You just completed the Leadville 100. Over 28 hours straight of running, no sleep. You started at 4 a.m. Saturday morning, and you finished Sunday morning a little bit before lunch. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing just trying to wrap my brain around that. What was that experience like for you? I'm going to get into details a little bit later, but generally speaking, how was that experience?
It was hard. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I've run some long races before, ran a 50 miler out there at altitude.
Yeah, you did that in July, right?
Correct. But
the Leadville 50.
That's right.
Preparing for the 100.
That's right. But this one was tough. It packed a much bigger punch.
Now,
sure.
You showed me a great picture because we met about a year and a half ago at Stack Gym where you and your wife work out. And you showed me this photo because I'd laugh like you'd come in to do the workout, which crushes me and most people. And, we'd be laughing that you ran that morning. I'd be like, how far did you run? You're like, and I'd joke, to LaPlace and back. And you'd be like, only 12 miles, only 13 miles, only 7, only 15, only whatever. And then you'd come do the workout. And you showed me a photo of you, I think, when you were at the University of Alabama. This chunky dude. I don't know if you had a smoke in your hand, but you had a beer in your hand, and you were just and you're like, this is what I used to look like. And I was like, it's just a regular looking dude. What made you go from the chunky guy with the beer in your hand to this super fit ultra marathon runner?
Yeah. Well, first off, roll tide, Corey.
Oh,
I got to
boy.
get that in there for you. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. My niece just got married. She went to Alabama. Her husband's from Alabama. They're all from Birmingham. Throughout the entire rehearsal dinner, it was roll tide at the end. And I was like, these guys must be these. And two dudes were just hammered. I go, they've got to be deeks at Alabama. And they were deeks from Alabama.
Yeah.
They were just hammered. But anyway.
So I came back home right after Katrina, or right before Katrina. I finished college, and I had a good, fun 4 years out there, and kind of get my life back together. And there was a moment when I took a look in the mirror and I was like, I need to do something about this, and tried running a little bit, and started with 10 minutes of running, 20 minutes of running, and kind of took a liking to it. A couple pounds started to come off, and decided I'm an all-in kind of guy. So
yeah, you are.
I decided I was going to sign up for a half marathon. I think the last race
how far into, hey, I'm going to start running, were you like, I'm going to sign up for a half marathon?
Yeah, a couple months into it. Yeah,
a couple of months. It's just ridiculous. Most people can't run 5 or 6 miles a couple of months starting to run, and you're going to run 13.1. So yeah, different from the get-go. Plus, I liked it. I don't know too many people that like running right away.
Yeah, just my advice would be don't go too far too soon, and just kind of find that comfort zone and stick with it for a while, and then gradually grow into it. So did the half marathon, and had a pretty good result, and was faster than I thought it would be, and it just kind of clicked. Met a few people around town, and kind of got into that scene, and kept getting a little faster, and it was fun for a while. Now I'm just getting older and slower, but going longer.
Yeah, going much, much longer. Now, was there ever a time where you're like, this sucks, I don't want to run, I want to stop, this is painful? It doesn't seem like you ever had that in your mind. It was always you embracing it and wanting to do it.
In Leadville specifically?
No, history of running.
Yeah, no, I always kind of kept getting a little more into it, a little bit faster. You go do these local races, and you racing against the clock, and your time gets a little better, and was trying to find my peak kind of, and then that was up until about COVID, and then I kind of stopped racing around town.
But I guess around that time you realized I can run. I like running, and I can do this.
Yeah, my old man ran some when I was growing up as a kid. I had an aunt that ran quite a bit.
He's gonna love that you called him old man on the program. But keep going.
A couple cousins that ran, so I guess it's in the family a bit. And but I didn't discover that until post college.
Was your mom a teacher?
She was a teacher.
Yeah, because GQ and Covington's like, Miss Gilly taught me.
That's probably
because I was hyping the show, and this guy is an avid listener on the North Shore. It's like, his mom taught me. So I promised I'd ask about that. All right, I'm guessing you went Well, I was about to say 5K to 10K, but you didn't. You went straight to a half marathon?
Yeah, I think I went from my second grade 5K to post-college half marathon, and then I went marathon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, in college I could run a 10K or a 5K, but now I run a mile and I'm like friggin' exhausted. Now, why more than a marathon? You did the half marathon, then you go do a marathon. Why more than a marathon? Why? Most people like 26.2. I'm doing damn good, and I don't need to do anymore. Why was that not enough?
Maybe just my personality. I read a book 15 years ago, Born to Run by Christopher McDougall.
That's probably the last time I read a book.
This one's worth reading, and maybe you'll find yourself in Leadville if you take a read. But a big portion of the book focused on Leadville. It was before ultra running kind of got into the scene, and it was a story about the Tarahumara Indians from, I mean, not even sure where they were from, but they came into the Leadville and ran in Hirachi sandals and were beating all these ultra runners out there. And I happened to be in Colorado the summer I was reading that, and took a stop in Leadville 14 years ago during one of the race weekends. And from then on, I knew I wanted to come back.
It reminds me like those Kenyans, like running village to village with medicine to save a life. You slap some Nikes on them and put them on asphalt, they're going to destroy any American race. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. You did the Leadville 50 back in July, and you told me that 50 miler was the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. After doing the 50, which was the hardest thing you've ever done in your life, how did you know you could do twice that and knock out the 100 a month later?
Yeah, well, so I hired a coach through a coaching service to kind of bring me through this whole training program, and it was his suggestion to run the 50 a month prior, and I'm so glad I did. I got a little feel of Leadville, I got a feel of the altitude, and like I said, within that 50 miles, it was incredibly hard. More exposed, more sunlight. Actually went above 12,500 feet 4 times instead of 2 times. So that course was kind of more like body shots all day, right? And the big race was kind of
per mile harder, maybe.
Yeah, I would say so. It was and so I just I trusted my coach through the whole process, which started last August. And I thought it was a little bit crazy. Everyone I talked to said, I'm not sure that's a good idea. And it ended up being a great idea. It got me out there, not on the exact course, but a lot of similarities, and kind of followed his lead block and his advice. And, a month later, I was towing the line at Leadville at 4 a.m.
We're visiting with Cameron Gilly, a New Orleans native, down here with us below sea level. Last month, he goes up to the mountains of Leadville, Colorado, and knocks out 100 miles. Started at 4 a.m. on Saturday and finished around 11 a.m. before lunch the next day, Sunday morning. Ran straight through almost 29 hours, 28 hours, 53 minutes. We'll talk about that time in a second. You told me weeks leading into this, you're dreaming about the race. Like you were just dreaming about it, literally dreaming about running the 100. Were you nervous going into that race like the day or two before? I remember talking to you like 24, 36 hours. You're like, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, it was the waiting and the anticipation. I'm not sure it was nervous, but there was definitely some anxiety there that kind of really wouldn't go away. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, or first thing I'd think about when I woke up in the morning was, oh, God, I'm running 100 miles in Colorado next month. And the whole world, at least my little world, knows about it. So I better go out there and get it done, or else I'm going to have some explaining to do.
Yeah, no doubt. How satisfying was this for you when you finished? How mentally rewarding was it when you crossed that finish line? I saw you with your wife, your daughter. We'll talk about that in a second. Hugging the guy with the cowboy hat, all of that. How satisfying was that when you finished that race?
I was extremely satisfied, but I was also extremely tired. It really didn't hit me for a couple hours after. I was just so happy to not be running anymore. But that satisfaction has stuck with me, through today. I've got a monkey off my back of something I had to go do, but I set my mind to go do and went out and did it. And it's been a nice break.
Yeah, no doubt. Corey Johnson with you, along with Cameron Gilly. He ran the Leadville 100. He's with us for the entire hour. Hey, in the 5 o'clock hour, Dan Reel's going to join us. The Real Deal with Dan Reel. Lots of topics to discuss. A week from tomorrow, Mayor Junket Cantrell to be arraigned. No travel. Ground that. I'm not going to go there. Hey, if you got a question or comment for Cameron Gilly, 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. We're coming right back. More with Cameron Gilly next. Don't move.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Don't forget, you can catch the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on television every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
Hey, I've been talking about Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville for months. If you love fine dining, if you love great New Orleans food, you need to get to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Don't let that drive across the lake scare you away. It is that good. And I hate using radio cliches like worth the drive from anywhere, but it's worth the drive from anywhere. It's just damn good. I love Gallagher's 527. Go check it out. Lamb chop, steak, sizzling in butter, incredible Louisiana seafood dishes, including some of the best turtle soup gumbo you'll have anywhere. And don't forget the crab meat St. Francis appetizer, this little ramekin, piping hot jumbo lump crab meat. And it's not an au gratin. It's fantastic. Check it out. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. We're visiting with Cameron Gilly, New Orleans' own, a native New Orleanian that last month ran in the Leadville 100. The month before that in July ran in the Leadville 50. That's Leadville, Colorado, 100 miles in the mountains. Hey, running throughout the night. Now, I guess in New Orleans, you and your buddies have had a little nighttime run down St. Charles Avenue, head to the Dome, maybe go up by the lakefront or something and knock out some 10, 20 miler like you guys do like that. But running throughout the night, like the sun setting, running for 10 hours in darkness or whatever, and then the sun rising. Have you ever done anything close to that? Sunset, nighttime, overnight, sunrise, running the whole time?
Yeah, a little bit. I ran a race 6 or 7 or 8 years ago called the Hotter Than Hell Marathon in Audubon Park. It's 13 laps around the park. And the only rule
on the track,
which
is like 1.8,
1.7, 1.8. I think it was 13 or 14 laps, but you could, the only rule was you could start anytime after midnight, but had to finish before 7 or 8 a.m. So that was first real night run.
Now, how many people were running in that thing?
If there was 100, I'd be surprised.
And it was lit up. The park,
no,
it's dark, like
just regular nighttime.
Yeah, because you can't even see in there.
Yeah.
So y'all ran 13 laps at starting at midnight.
Oh, I think we started at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Wow.
And and then I had run another 100 miler out in Mississippi 3 years ago, and that started at noon, so it went through the night.
Now, how long did that 100 miler take you?
23 and a half hours.
On flat land?
Flat enough.
Hilly.
No altitude, though, but on a horse track out in a state park in Mississippi.
Wow.
Yeah.
A loop, kind of doing the same?
Yeah, it was some 13-mile loops and then 2 6-mile loops at the end.
Wow.
And then this race in Leadville started 4 a.m. I watched, this is kind of a fun fact, I watched the sunrise on the same lake 2 days in a row and never stopped running.
That's great. And that did you get to ever settle in where you're like, man, this is so beautiful, and really take it in? Or were you like, man, this is so beautiful, I'm tired, I got to run?
Yeah, there were a couple moments. The second sunrise coming back in, when I knew I was 6 or 8 or 10 miles away from finishing, it was surreal. It was amazing around this turquoise lake is what they call it, and single track on the Colorado Trail. And then right before sunset the night before, coming out of the hardest part of the race in the middle, out in this meadow, the sun was behind the mountains, but there was still this amazing light, and just myself and one other runner, and kind of just took a spin around because it really was amazing. It was incredible. I got goosebumps talking about how pretty it was, Corey.
That's amazing. Hey, I saw you once out by the lakefront where you were about 28 miles into a 40-mile run, just a casual 40-mile run, you and a buddy one Saturday afternoon. I pulled my car up, rolled down the window. You come into my car. You weren't even breathing. You literally wasn't even breathing, Mario Brothers. I swear, chest wasn't breathing. Just like you're sitting there right now. I'm talking to you. He's leaving the car. Hey, man, what's going on? And I'm just shocked. And then you said, man, I could run forever today if it wasn't so hot. Like, you were like, I could run forever today. And you were 28 miles into it. It's just kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, I remember that. Thanks for the smoothie you dropped off. That cooled me down a bit. And my buddy I was running with, it was his 44th or 5th, maybe 46th birthday. And he likes to run his birthday years every birthday. So I joined him for 40 of those miles.
Wow.
I wish he wasn't born in June in New Orleans, but a fall birthday would be better. But
exactly, running in December. Yeah.
But the heat, I think the heat helped me. I like to call it poor man's altitude training.
No, I would think it did. The humidity and the heat.
Yeah.
It's just sort of the flip side of it. How many miles into the Leadville 100 were you running smoothly and that you felt, boy, I feel pretty good, I can roll with this? Or did that never happen?
No, I felt very smooth in the first, definitely the first 13 miles.
You were cruising the first 13 miles.
Yeah.
Did you jump out the gate a little fast, you think?
Probably faster than I was instructed to by my coach, but I'm glad I did in hindsight to kind of put some time in the bank, because Leadville has some pretty aggressive cutoffs at certain aid stations. But coming into mile 25, 26, I felt really good, and everything was behaving. My stomach was behaving, and the body felt good.
Did you ever hit a wall?
I mean, I had some low, pretty much. There's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs. It's just kind of a matter of managing the downs because they don't last forever. The race doesn't last forever. Those moments don't last forever. The pain in any given part of your body doesn't last forever. So yeah, there were plenty of lows. I mean, there were some specifics. 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, I was running with one of my friends and pacers, Doug Wynn, who came out there, and he's a hell of a runner. He's running Chicago marathon in a couple weeks and in super good shape. And he was all rested and ready to roll and hadn't had caffeine and kept all his energy to find me at 2 in the morning. And we didn't do a whole lot of running. I held him back, and I really didn't do much talking with him. I feel bad that I was in a pretty rough spot climbing back up this 4-mile portion of the course called Power Line, which is be like walking up a chairlift on a ski mountain, just straight up a Jeep road with nothing to look at and the buzz of a power line over your head.
Wow.
It was pretty miserable.
Wow. What are you thinking about when you're running, especially for more than a day straight? It just bouncing back and forth, all kind of different stuff, or focused on one thing? Or
a good question. I mean, I spent some time thinking about, family and my life and some kind of cool sentimental stuff, but a lot of the time thinking about nothing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like to do this. Me, I don't sit still. My mind doesn't sit still unless I'm sleeping. And so something about getting into the long portions of an ultra marathon kind of shuts everything down. It's kind of the only way I can find a way to meditate, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the patience or head to meditate.
No, me neither. Me neither. Hey, the terrain out there is crazy. Do they count the different types of terrain that you guys are running on? Like it's 6 different types of terrain or 10? Best case scenario, I saw you're on kind of like a little dirt road, maybe. That was best case scenario. From there, you're going to trails to crazy uphill climbs with rocks, jagged little rocks sticking up. I mean, a big boulder would almost be better. You just go around it. These hundreds of little jagged rocks. I'm like, I don't even know how you walk up that, much less run up that. I would think impossible to run on that. Tell us about the terrain.
Yeah, first there was quite a bit of walking, but the terrain was, it starts in town and it's on some blacktop, and there's actually a little bit of blacktop.
About a mile?
Yeah, a mile or so, just kind of getting to certain sections of the course. They say Leadville is a pretty runnable ultra marathon, a mountain ultra marathon, and that's true. There's some single track that's beautiful on the Colorado Trail. There's quite a bit of what I would call just a mountain Jeep road, kind of a washed out road with, but a lot of uneven footing. You kind of have to remind yourself you're in a beautiful surrounding and setting to look up because you're so busy looking down at where your feet are going to fall.
Yeah. Don't want to break an ankle.
And then there was some significant climbing in the middle portion of the race where it's switchbacks and just a lot of up and a lot of down and a lot of steep up too.
What's a switchback?
I guess when a trail gets so steep, instead of just going straight up, it'll run. It'll zigzag. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
wow. Otherwise, you'd need a rope or a ladder.
Yeah, correct.
Wow. How much did you walk in the Leadville 100?
A lot. I had plans to probably run 60% of the time. And I probably ended up walking close to 60% of the time. If you ask any of my pacers, they couldn't pace me until mile 62. The vast majority of that last 38 miles was a lot of walking. My quads were kind of wrecked and my stomach was really giving me some problems. So I'd run a little bit when I could on the flats, but starting the race in my head, I kept repeating to myself, run the runnables, run the runnable, run the runnable, because if it was significantly up or significantly down, you don't really want to, particularly up. You can't run unless you're the top elite in the field. But anything that was flat or slight uphill, slight downhill, just remind myself that this needs to be ran and not walked.
This guy who won it in like 15 hours, he ran the whole time.
His claim to fame is he's in the no walk club. Yes. He's a machine.
I don't know how you run up like where it looks like a washed out stream from winter, where it's just got like a chute in the middle and they're just jagged rocks up. I don't know how do you run up that? Yeah. I don't know how that guy does that. How Did you change your shoes? How many pairs? How many times?
Yeah, good question. I changed them once. They you kind of leave your crew at a aid station called Twin Lakes, and you go do a 25-mile section, and you don't see them, and it's a long section, a lot of up and down, and I thought it'd take me 7 or 8 hours. It took me 9 hours, but
wow.
Right when you leave that aid station, you run through a river, and so you're starting that section of the race with wet feet.
God.
And when you come back, it actually feels really nice in that cold water. But that's mile 62. And that's when I took my longest aid break, which was 7 or 8 or 9 minutes, and did a full kind of wardrobe change and shoe change and lubed my feet up with some petroleum type
You
stuff.
had to. I mean, I was thinking just wet feet. That just blister city.
Correct. I got pretty lucky with my feet this go around.
It was cloudy and around 60 on Saturday. Overnight, it got down to like the high 30s or around like 40, right?
Yeah, it was cold. It was great weather during the day. The sun didn't beat you up too much because at that altitude, the sun can be really nasty.
Yeah.
But I got cold midnight, 1 a.m. into an aid station coming across a field.
It's like 40 degrees.
At one point, I had 2 beanie hats on, a shirt, arm sleeves, a pullover, kind of quarter zip, and then a jacket, gloves, hand warmers, and I couldn't stop shaking. But I knew there was a big climb ahead, and I was going to work into some,
that would
some
warm
sweat.
you up.
Yep.
And then you're disrobing all that stuff after that.
Correct.
Yeah, not only altitude changes, but weather changes. Throwing a little daytime running and nighttime running just for the hell of it, too. I mean, it's really a test of endurance and will. It's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Leadville family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Leadville company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
It may be September, but it's still hot out there. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. If you need AC help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. Cameron Gilly's with us, native New Orleanian. He ran the Leadville 100 miles in the mountains of Colorado last month. Ridiculously impressive. Hey, Cameron, did you ever doubt you could finish the 100?
Unless a doctor pulled me out. My brother came out there, and he is a doctor, and I kind of gave him the at least I told my parents I gave him the green light to make that decision if needed. But other than that, I wasn't going to stop. It just wasn't going to happen. However, until the last 2 or 3 miles, I didn't know what was going to happen or how the body was going to react. So it really was never
what, like collapse, falling out?
You cramp up, you run out of your sodium's not right, and your body locks up, and you can't really move, and it'd be hard to finish even a mile at that.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, if you have a question or comment for Cameron Gilly, dial us up. Mario Brothers, aka Latin X, at the controls. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Hey, Cameron, were there any physical ailments during the 100 besides the stomach you were talking about?
Yeah, no, I mean, the diet is tough. It's basically a eating contest. So I had some stomach issues, but in the beginning, my left Achilles was not feeling great, and it kind of went away. And then I knew and didn't say a whole lot, but I had a knee, right knee that was kind of giving me a problem before the race that it never really. It came and heated up a little bit, and then the left knee. Throughout the whole race, there's always something that, whether it's the bottom of your feet or your knee, it's funny how pain kind of just jumps around to different parts of your body because it almost can't process it all at the same time. But nothing crazy, Corey.
How beat up physically were you after that race? I would imagine it was debilitating.
Yeah, I've been worse. I was able to walk pretty good. I spent 2 hours in some compression boots after the race. And
what were those big blow up pants you were in?
That's it. They're Normatec boots. They run a compression through your legs on some pattern that's supposed to move blood and help you recover. And I think it worked. And I was able to walk. And I also think because of the GI issues that I had, I didn't really push my body as much as I could have, I think. So the soreness wasn't as bad as it was. And I kept pretty good care of my feet this go around, better than I have in the past. Bigger shoes and a lot more gel on the between the toes and stuff to keep the friction down. So the blisters weren't too bad.
Now, food wise, how do you prepare for such a run, and what do you eat that fuels you for 28 hours? I told you Colorado lamb chops before you went.
I wish I could have gotten some of those down. That's actually something you train for and there's a lot of science going on now on carbohydrates and how to best get them in, and which is basically just fuel. And my coach said, you need to find a way to get 90 grams of carbohydrates in your system per hour. So I set a timer on my watch. I had a fabulous crew that came out there with me, and they set these little gel flasks. They were able to get 3 packs of gel flask and gel packets in each flask. And I knew that every time I watched alarm went off, I had to get one of those in, and I ended up unfortunately having just gels and no solid food. My plan was to go in, take gels as long as I could, and then move to solid food. Well, I never had the appetite for solid food.
Wow.
And so I ended up with quite a few gels in the system.
What did the high altitude do as far as your breathing, your lungs?
It was tough. Leadville is at base, I think it's about 10,000 or 9,800. And it's okay to get around. You can definitely feel it. But when you get up top and pushing 12,000 and above, you kind of get the wah-wahs in your head. And I've told a few people it's like breathing through a cocktail straw.
Wow. The little straw you're talking about.
The little one that's not supposed to be a straw.
The drink. Yeah. Wow. Were your lungs hurting?
Yeah, no, you can breathe. You just can't move as fast as you want to.
Yeah. Now, you can't do this thing alone. You had a nice support staff of friends from New Orleans. You mentioned your brother, pacing, running with you, like the last 20, 30% of the race or so. I thought it was pretty cool, pretty amazing. Keith from Stack Coaching, who's in law enforcement and is a beast, and Charlie from Stack Coaching, who's a beast. They went to Colorado with you and did some pacing with you. How cool was that, having those guys show up like that?
Corey, it was the best part of the race. The support staff I had, from my wife to my youngest daughter, my brother. I have a brother-in-law who JP, who did my first 100 with me. So I had that family aspect. And the great part is I never really asked anyone to come. Everyone wanted to come.
Yep,
And
yep.
one of my best friends, Michael Schmidt, he came out there. Doug Wynn, who I mentioned earlier, incredible runner. He was awesome. Keith and Charlie from the gym, and and my brother. And it was just a great mix of friends and family. And at the end, they're thanking me, and I'm the one that really should be thanking them for giving up a night of sleep and coming out there and basically doing as much work without the running as I did. And in fact, their night was probably a lot longer and colder than mine.
I don't know if I could honestly stay up 4 a.m. Saturday morning till 11 a.m. Sunday morning. I don't know if I could stay up straight like that. Seriously, just not doing anything, much less running. Crazy. Now, I saw the guy who set the course record, the guy who won it. His wife ran like the last 20 miles with him. I think she's a doctor. That's who paced that guy, the winner, his wife.
It's correct.
Pretty amazing, those two, huh?
They're amazing. The top of the pack is amazing. I saw him coming down Hope Pass.
You're going and he's coming.
Yeah, I had a long way to go before I got
he's
to
just blazing
before I got to turn around. But he was so fired up, and he was telling me I was amazing. And I think he probably said something to everyone else coming down the mountain.
That's so cool.
Totally.
I mean, when you get it from someone like that, I was at Stack Gym one time and I was doing pull-ups, and this guy comes over to me and he says, "Man, how many pull-ups could you do when you first came here?" I said, like 1 or 2. And this guy's just this badass. He just shakes his head and smiles and walks off. And that motivated me still to this day. By the way, that was Cameron Gilly who came over and told me that 6-8 months ago. You think I'm kidding? I know you remembered it. And I remembered just your look, and you walked off, and I was just like, where's that valve that blows up my head? Because it's blowing up right now. No, that motivates me to this day.
Corey's always good on giving compliments around there, but he's well deserving of them. And I've watched Corey come a long way in that gym over the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's a good place. It's a good place. How did the winner finish this thing in 15 hours? How's that possible?
I really don't have a clue. It still blows my mind. I mean, the second place was a female.
Yeah, a woman for second.
She broke the course record, 30-year course record.
17 hours or something she did it in.
Her first 100-miler, and she's an ER doctor. They're amazing. They do both live out there. They do both hit the trails and the altitude. I think if in a perfect world, I'd love to live out there for a year.
No. You're running out the door, running down St. Charles Avenue. They're running out the door to a trail right into the mountains.
Yeah, I'm just jealous.
Yep. Over 300 people did not even finish the race. Started with over 700 and finished with under 400, I believe.
That's correct. That's one thing.
What happens? They didn't finish in enough time, or literally had injuries, or I can't do this.
Yeah, some people will pull themselves out, but I think the majority are, they have some pretty significant time requirements to get through certain aid stations. And I think mainly for safety reasons, to get people off at least the technical side of the mountain. And a lot of people just can't get to those aid stations in time. And Leadville has a 30-hour cutoff. And, I thought I wouldn't have any issue if I was going to finish making another 30 hours. I'm sure glad I had some spare time from the beginning of the race because I needed it. It's a pretty. I came away, and I think most people, if you finish Leadville, it's a win. It's a W.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If I finished over 30 hours, I'd be like, it's a W.
Well,
the people that do, I'd be like, I did the Leadville. I didn't get the buckle, but
and my heart goes out to the people that show up and can see the finish line at 10:03 or 4 or 5 in the a.m. the next day, and they don't technically get a finish
because they went over 30 hours.
But they did all the work.
Yeah, they did all the work. Hey, you got a great wife, 3 kids, a full-time job where you travel a lot with that job. How do you find the time to put in the road work?
You just got to get up earlier, Corey.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you just got to weave it into your schedule. Sometimes it means not having the extra beer at the hotel bar the night before,
exactly.
or with the guys from work. But you get up early and just suck it up a little bit if you get tired. But there's always time.
All right, what's left? I'm assuming a 100 is the limit, right?
No, I mean there's some other significantly longer races out there.
They're interested in that?
I don't know. I'm definitely interested in some other 100-milers. Would definitely entertain doing Leadville again, but the longer stuff, I don't know. I never say never, right?
And why ultra marathons and not triathlons? You're not interested in the biking or swimming part?
Yeah, I've never been super comfortable on the bike. I can get 20, 30, 40 miles in and neck starts hurt. I just never too much gear. The weather's got to be right. You can't just walk out the door with a pair of shoes and go run anywhere you are.
Yeah.
I like the camaraderie of running with you find some buddies and friends and get out there and just kind of joke around a little bit and hang out and then the swimming. I love the water, but I'm just not a swimmer.
Yeah, I hear you. No, you're a runner. How much harder to run in the mountains than down on the bayou?
Altitude, I think, plays a bigger factor. I don't know. Altitude plays a huge factor, and terrain, incline, decline. It's just different. You just got to train for it. It's hard to train for altitude. It's hard to train for downhill. You can get on a treadmill and
everybody thinks the downhill is great because I heard it just as bad as going uphill, basically, because you're braking.
Yeah, you just wreck your quads.
Yeah,
There's really
you're just pounding.
no way to get used to that. Yeah.
Yep. Now, being from New Orleans, how did you prepare to run in the Rocky Mountains? I mean, I thought about you the other day because I had to park in a parking garage and I had to walk up and down the ramps. I was like, man, Cameron Gilly could use this parking garage for training.
I did some of that. I hit some garages, hit some levees. I followed my coach's plan on, he's from Chicago. He's run Leadville 4 or 5 times. And he just was able to stack some workouts and 1 to 4 day periods that got the fitness level up and got me ready to go.
Wow. Are you going to run the 100 again next year, or was this a one-time thing? Hang on. We're going to come right back.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole-Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The vibe of the Crescent City, Corey Johnson.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
Yeah, you right. It is Tuesday, The Real Deal with Dan Real coming your way in about 10 minutes during the 5 o'clock power hour. Right now, Cameron Gilly's with us. He's been with us the entire hour. If you missed any of this interview and you'd like to check it out, go to YouTube after 6 o'clock. The whole 4 o'clock hour, Cameron Gilly, who ran the Leadville 100, this New Orleans native. Leadville 100, 100 miles in the mountains of Colorado. The lowest elevation is about 9,600 feet. You go to over 12,500 feet. It's about 15,000 feet of elevation climb over 100 miles. Cameron started the race at 4 in the morning on Saturday and finished a little bit before 11 a.m. on Sunday morning, running for almost 29 hours straight. Going in the break, I said, you're going to run the 100 again next year, or was this a one-time thing? It doesn't seem like it's a one-time thing.
I am going to put my name in a lottery to see if I get drawn to run again, and then I'll make that decision. But no, I definitely, I'd love to try Leadville again. I think I learned a lot. I would have a different approach, particularly with my diet. And
so you're telling me you run the Leadville, you run 100 miles, you do it in under 30 hours, you get the coveted belt buckle, and you're not an automatic qualifier every year from there on out?
No, I think Leadville is one of the races that anybody, I believe, can sign up and you go into a hat to pull a lottery. I do get a lottery entry into a couple other races that I'm going to put my name in, and if I if I get selected, I'll be happy, and if I don't get selected, I'll probably be happier.
You need to write a book. You need to get with like Jeff Duncan, you know, or Ellis Hennigan. They're both New Orleans guys. I think a publisher would love it. Inspirational and so much more, man. It's got to be 1,000 things that you experience.
I think I'll keep running, but I don't have the book writing in me, I don't think, Corey, but maybe with some help.
Here are some stats, by the way. 100 miles covered in 28 hours and 53 minutes. Your goal was to do it in under 29, right?
I mean, I had a goal of under 25, but that went out the door pretty quick. That takes a whole nother type of athlete to have a perfect day, and I didn't have a perfect day.
Yeah, but if you don't do it in under 30 hours, you don't receive the coveted belt buckle, do you?
That's correct. If you do it under 25, you get a bigger belt buckle.
Wow, that's crazy. The one you got's pretty big right now. I told your wife, I'm like, you need to go to like Mignon Faget or get somebody to make you a tiny one in sterling silver that you can wear all the time.
Yeah, I had to wear it today, but this thing will probably go on the shelf somewhere. And,
I'd be getting cufflinks for the tuxedo, man. Leadville 100, that's me.
You can borrow it, Corey.
I want to borrow the thing. Are you kidding me? I'm single. That might lure in the chicks. I can lie and say I ran the Leadville 100. Hey, if you don't do it in under 30 hours, you don't receive the belt buckle. Let's see. There were 712 people that started. You were 216 out of 712. 216 out of 712. Your first time ever running this thing. That's top 30%. 320 didn't finish or didn't finish in under 30 hours. With men, you were 177 of 562. Again, top 30%. almost 250 men didn't finish. Your age group, 40 to 49, you were 61 out of 163, top 37%. I mean, you're top third in this thing, and it was your first time ever. You got to be pretty happy with those statistics.
No, I'm definitely happy. It's not about the numbers, but the finish was good. Although I'd like to go try to improve on that one day.
Hey, the guy with the cowboy hat at the end that you hugged and pointed to and hugged him again. Who was that guy? Because you said he helped you get it across the finish line.
Yeah, so he is actually the original creator of Leadville. He was Ken Klober.
He ran it
years ago. He started it.
He must be like 70 years old.
Yeah,
now,
he
huh?
is. He was working at the mine in the 80s when it was shut down,
Yeah.
and he really is what brought that town back through this race series. And
Because the population, when the mine shut down, this town shut down. Almost.
Yeah, Leadville was, I think, it was a pretty nasty place to be around. And, now there are a couple weekends a year through the multiple different races that they have. It's a town of 2,500 people, and they get 10,000 people up there, spending money and participating in the race.
Huge economic impact for that.
Big time. But I had a moment with him at the expo before in a tent. It was kind of the end of the expo, and my family had gotten into town, and we were walking around, and he was sitting underneath the tent, and went and talked to him and made a New Orleans connection. And I told him, I hope the big thing is I don't think it's his wife, but the lady that started with him, give her a hug when you cross the finish line. And she says, "Welcome home." And I made the comment and said, "Look, I hope I can give her a hug." And he said, "What do you mean you hope, son?" and he grabbed my wife and he said, "Look, when he goes to bitching and whining and complaining and he wants to get in that car, you lock the door and tell him to keep on going." And
Nice.
That's what I was telling him. I said that, I kept playing in my head during the race. I wasn't quitting.
It was pretty cool just watching the video that Charlie and Keith sent. Charlie sent it to me. Keith running with you, pacing you at the end, and then your wife runs with you the last 400 yards. Your little daughter, about 50 yards to the finish, you lean over and kiss your daughter. I mean, that's got to be the highlight of the race.
Yeah, it was incredible to know to see them at the end. And my youngest daughter, Perrin, she was my crew chief, and she got me through it, and it was truly amazing to get across that finish line with her and the rest of the team. I couldn't have done it without them, and I had the best crew on the mountain.
How long after that race did you do absolutely nothing physical except like walking to, how long until you, hey, I'm going to lift a weight, or I might take a jog, or I might do some kind of exercise? How long did that take? Had to be days, huh?
It's always good to move a little bit. We walked around town that evening a little bit, and then I got home. I think I got on the bike, just the beach cruiser bike, and ran a few errands around town just to move the legs. And then I walked the next day, and now back to running a little bit and lifting a few weights.
Yeah, no, I saw that. How long did you sleep after that thing?
Sleep is terrible after. The first couple nights are bad. You really don't get back into a rhythm until for a couple days after. Your sleep schedule's so messed up, your body's recovering, doesn't really know what the hell
jet lag.
What the hell just happened to it.
Yeah, exactly. Did you finally get into a deep sleep where you're like, oh, I finally recovered from this thing? I knocked out 12 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I think last week I might have gotten one good night of sleep, and now I'm not sleep. Sleep is tough these days.
No, I sleep like crap. I sleep like one day a week well, and the others suck. Wake up at 4 a.m, I'm wide awake. What's the next race? How quickly are you getting back into something? Anything scheduled?
Not really. Unfortunately, I have a little procedure on my shoulder I'm getting done this week, and it's going to keep me down for a bit, but possibly in October if the doc releases me.
That's Blue Boy barking up a storm. That hour went by fast, Cameron. Even Blue Boy's impressed. Thank you so much, man. I really enjoyed this last hour.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Corey. This was a blast, and I was a little worried about it, but it wasn't too bad.
No, man, you're motivational and inspirational. I told you it's about you, and you're an expert on all that stuff. Hey, we're coming right back. The Real Deal with Dan Real, 5 o'clock powwow next.
With Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Leadville family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. That's supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Here we go again. Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday. Normally, like next Tuesday, it'll be the 4 o'clock hour, the real deal with Dan Real. But he's with us for the 5 o'clock powwow. How you doing, Dan?
I'm good. There's probably never been a transition of a healthy person to an unhealthy person as you just had in this seat. That's incredible.
I was sitting across from Cameron, so it was at the same time the unhealthy and healthy. Isn't that ridiculous? Dan?
I honestly
can't even conceive it.
I was thinking out there while I was waiting that I don't know if I've run that far since I've been an adult. combined.
No.
Like,
I'm
not
serious.
kidding.
Like in the last 20 years,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've run 100 miles in
know.
the last 20 years.
It's crazy.
It really is crazy.
What an accomplishment, though. You know, I mean, that's stretching your body to the limit, and just really impressive.
I don't get it.
No,
to
it's
be
got to be
honest.
the mind as well. right?
Totally. No, that
I didn't
Cameron
hear him,
Gilly
so
is,
maybe he was-
he is mentally disciplined and sharp.
It's incredible.
He can focus like very few people I know.
It's an unbelievable accomplishment, and something that you're right. I think the word is inspirational.
It is. It's pretty inspirational. It's the real deal with Dan Real. Dan ran Harrah's, Caesars, not just New Orleans, but all their properties around the region. For what, Dan? About 15, 16 years, right?
I was with Caesars for 28 years, but I was here for 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is home. So I retired, but we're living here. It's too important to my wife and my girls. So yeah.
And a minimum, while you were at Harrah's, Caesars, a minimum of about $500 million invested in that property, right?
Yeah, I'm really proud to
Over that
say
time.
that a couple $100 million into the Superdome naming rights, $450 million into the property down on Canal, brand new property in Lake Charles after the boat, slipped away at the hurricane, and just throughout the state, just really proud. Over $1 billion in my last few years, and that's not incentivized by taxes.
And the Mississippi property as well, right?
Yeah, Harrah's Gulf Coast, really well.
How many total? Lake Charles, Harrah's Gulf Coast, New Orleans?
For a little while, it rotated between 4 and 7. I had Illinois for a couple of years as well.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
I kept really busy. It's not easy running that many properties, but you have to have is unbelievable talent, and I did.
Yeah, lucky. No,
Yeah.
that's good. Fortunate, I should
Very
say.
fortunate.
Yep. Dan Reel's with us, the real deal. Dan, you ready to jump into it?
Yeah, I'd love it. What are we talking about?
Well, first we'll talk about LIV Golf real quick. It's coming to City Park. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I don't like the Saudis necessarily. I mean, the people are fine. I don't like the government. I don't like their civil rights record. It's supposed to be an ally of ours, and sometimes that's kind of a precarious situation. The sports washing is obviously what they're doing. But then again, I'm like, okay, they're coming to New Orleans. I don't think it's a $60 million economic impact like Cameron Henry was saying, but I think it's going to be tens of millions. And there's going to be some upgrades to the City Park golf course. So selfishly, as a New Orleanian, I like the hype. I like the publicity. I like the financial input to the golf course and City Park. So I guess I'm giving it a thumbs up, but Jeff Duncan's article, just, dogging it. And we got the Zurich and the PGA. Why bring this in and all that? I couldn't argue with Jeff on that. So I don't think I'm being a hypocrite, but I'm saying it. So maybe I am being a little bit of
Yeah.
one.
I mean, when you have a hard time understanding what the host just said after 2 minutes on the topic, I think you're, a little bit off kilter on that. But I'm with you, because here's my take. I'm not going to it, but I'm glad it's here. So to your point, I think $7 million going into this for the city.
Yep.
And regardless if it's 20, 30, $40 million in uplift, that's great. At a time, it's going to be hot next year at this time. So, I didn't read Jeff's article, but I don't see the problem. I'm a city guy. I want New Orleans to do well 52 weeks out of the year, and that's not easy here. So to bring that here at that time, I like it.
No, it's a week before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's late June. It is hot as hell. The peak of summer, nothing going on, and LIV Golf's coming here. But they went to Dallas like last summer, I think. So I guess they're not prominent. They wear shorts.
Yeah, it's hot everywhere. What I will say is, if there are fans of the players, I guarantee you they'll be at that casino.
yeah.
They come over to the casino during Zurich.
Yep.
And that's not like it's right in the backyard. They have to go out of their way to get there. But I think if you are a fan and you want to see them inside somewhere, they're not going to have a promotional event, I don't think, but they will be there.
How cool were John Sumrall's comments about don't mess with New Orleans? I thought that was really cool. I mean, this guy's already beloved. Those kind of comments, just everyone embraces John Sumrall. I was just blown away by those comments.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I'm glad that it was a 23-3 stomping as well, holding them to 3
From your
points.
boys in Chicago.
Yeah,
You're
listen,
familiar with them.
that was an easy decision for me to root for. So I lived there for the first 30 years of my life. We'll see how long we make it from here. It's been 15 since I've been here, but I was all in on Tulane for that game. I loved it, and I'm really glad that they did that. Listen, I was also the basketball manager for Northern Illinois, and the reason I bring that up is the logistics is what the coach said from Northwestern. He said the reason why they couldn't allow them to wear their white jerseys was because of logistics.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
What of all the excuses
No,
that you're
no,
going to bring
exactly.
up? I can just tell you, we had back-to-back games. You spend all night in the laundry room. You got to do what you got to do. That is a BS excuse for a huge reason why Tulane wanted it.
I think, their jerseys are purple. You think they want that in the summer heat in New Orleans? I think they were like focused on that. We got to wear white because it's going to be hot as hell. That's what I think they were thinking. They missed the, Katrina thing. And then the coach ended up calling Summerall and apologizing.
Well, I'll tell you what. Did you see his statement? The coaches?
Yeah.
He was here after Katrina. They drove down in a van. So I got to give him a little bit of props
players
for that.
fixing up. Yeah. What do you say? Mucking out houses.
That's what he said. Yeah. So that was legit.
Yeah,
but
I
still loved, because that may have been done above them. You never know. But I just think that was a great outcome, and it was a great weekend for the city or state as far as football goes.
Hey, was that Payton School? Sean Payton?
No,
School?
he was Eastern Illinois.
Okay.
Northern Illinois, while I was there, a little bit after, they went into Alabama, Doak Stadium, and Northern Illinois beat Alabama in Alabama.
Damn.
You wouldn't have thought that happened in the last 30 years, right?
No, exactly. I remember the UL Monroe loss under Saban's first year.
Yeah.
But that was like the last time.
Yeah.
Dan, we're probably going to disagree on this, but I'm seeing a lot of conservatives online talking about this. They're saying the Alaska summit was a disaster, that it worked backwards, that it enabled Putin. It gave him a green light. And you look at what they're doing in Ukraine, hitting Kyiv again, civilians. What did you think about the Alaskan summit and that it seemed to have worked backwards? Yes, no?
Nope. I think it was a good thing that they met. I think that they do have a plan. You're right that's if they have a plan and they're still bombing Kyiv, it's not a good plan. But what I would say is I do think it's coming to an end. I actually hope it's coming to an end. You and I have talked about that. I have taken the stance that the only way it comes to an end is Trump and Putin decide that they're going to agree on what's going to be given up. And you don't like that because you want to make sure that, Ukraine gets what they have, and they should. But I am a realist on this one, Corey. I don't see how it ends without Putin at least being able to put his thumb on Ukraine a little bit.
I don't see how Ukraine or Europe would agree to that. The only thing I can think, Dan, that the only way this thing can end where Ukraine's going to agree, and I don't think they want to do this, but maybe it's they'd have to do it for 10, maybe splitting Crimea in two. I've never even heard that mentioned. The western side would go with Russia, the eastern side would go with Russia, the western side would stay with Ukraine. And then all that Donbass, the northern part, would stay with Ukraine. I've never heard of splitting Crimea. I think Putin wants all of it. Ukraine doesn't want to give up any of it. That's a major problem.
It is
when they're on opposite sides of the solution.
It is, but they're not equal. They're only equal in support versus reality, I think. And the problem that you have there, Corey, is you were downplaying China as a supporter. Do you know where Putin is today?
Oh, I know. It's nauseating.
He's in China.
What about with Modi over there too?
I know, but
it's sickening.
This is all part. I'm telling you, I don't know if they know the outcome, but I think they know what it will be. And I think it is what I've said, whether you like it or not, defeatist or not, Ukraine's going to have to give up some land. Putin's going to have to get a little bit of a celebration, and they're going to need to go their own way.
Not to go off subject, but I thought we were supposed to be over the next decade or so transitioning away from China to India for all our stuff.
We will. You're reading a lot into this the last few months. You've been reading into Trump's face after the summit and I get it.
I don't like Modi sitting there with,
Listen, he's doing what he's got to do.
I guess. India's like supported by China. They buy a lot of oil and gas from Russia. It's like,
well, listen, there's no doubt in my mind that Modi is a supporter of the United States. So I am not going to jump off.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I just think that they're in very tough positions, Corey. They have to be visible to people know where they are and what they're doing. And you're not going to walk into a person's house and disrespect them.
No, I don't think you need to be disrespectful. I just thought, like in Alaska, I thought Trump was too much of an appeaser and placater to Putin and making him look good. And Modi's like, always a pleasure to be with Putin. I forgot the adjective he used. It was even more than a pleasure. I'm just like, I requoted on Twitter. I'm like, really? I mean, this is a murdering, be cordial. You're meeting Kim Jong-un or something, but also Putin's just a murdering dictator. It's not like you're meeting a democratically, elected leader. I don't know. The appeasement of Putin by Trump and now Modi just sort of.
I just disagree that both
nauseating.
are appeasement. I think it's all part of what you have to do. If you want to get something to the end, you have to have the ability to speak to these people. And if you just put up, a facade and just fight over everything, you're never going to get your foot in the door. Trump has his foot in the door whenever he wants it. I think he's going to use it. I think he's hoped that Putin would have done something to make him look a little bit better. But I don't think that there's any way that this ends other than Putin making a decision with Trump on when it's going to end. And I think it's soon.
Hey, tonight for dinner, it's New Orleans. Sometimes it's a dilemma. Where do I go? Where do I go? Because there's so many great choices. How about Katie's in Mid-City, Iberville, corner Tallahassee?
Great
Huge
gumbo.
portions, really good gumbo. Huge portions, great for sharing. Katie's in Mid-City for dinner tonight. Yeah, make it Katie's in Mid-City. Coming right back, more of The Real Deal.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Hey, Marigny, Bywater, Treme, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Garden District, Irish Channel. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Yeah, you right. Welcome back, Corey Johnson, along with Dan Reel. It's a Tuesday. Normally we do it in the 4 o'clock hour. Today, the 5 o'clock powwow. But next Tuesday, Dan will be right in that seat in the 4 o'clock hour. Get used to it. Every Tuesday, The Real Deal with Dan Reel. He's got lots of
I
opinions.
want some callers to start calling in. We
Yeah.
got opinions, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd welcome some in.
I need to
If
throw
you're at
out-
home and you're watching this, come on, throw a curveball at us.
Yep, 766-9480. All topics are welcome.
Yep.
Yeah, like Dan said, throw a curveball. We don't need to know the topic
Yep.
beforehand, and I'm not scared to say I don't know.
Me
And
neither.
I think Dan's the same way.
I'm the same
Exactly.
way. I've got opinions, but I know when I don't know.
Yeah, me too. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. I'm going to have to throw the phone number out. I get you in here, Dan, and I
Yeah.
forget to throw the phone number out. And we just keep chatting.
No, that's all right.
Because we got a slew of topics.
Listen, I love being here. I think it's great to talk about it. I think you do a great job for the city. And that's why I love to be a part of this. I think it's important to have somebody local that's talking out every day, and you do a great job.
No, I appreciate that, Dan. And when we met, and you were like, man, I'm interested in coming on. You know, I've been approached by, you don't know how many people with that. And I'm just like, and where's the benefit of you coming on the show?
Yeah.
And then right away, when you want to do, I'm like, this is perfect. Dan's got a lot of opinions. He's smart. He's not scared to voice those opinions. He's retired from the casino industry, going into a different thing. We're about the same age. I was like, and you lean a little more conservative than I do. I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, when you and I were talking, I'm like, was I ever like negative or no shot?
No, that wasn't even why I really met. I just wanted, let you know I was newly retired and interested in your show. I liked watching it. And I just wanted to see if I could help in any way. I didn't think it was actually going to be on air, but it's worked out. I've gotten some pretty good feedback.
Well, the compliments you gave me set me up to be knocked down. You know how to sell, man. You know how to sell.
Well, listen, if I can't make it through 1 hour out of the week, I got real problems. So
No,
I
I
appreciate
hear
you
you.
giving me a chance.
No, I like it, Dan. What did I text you last week? If it wasn't good, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Hey, Cracker Barrel, back and forth with that logo. First off, I think Cracker Barrel was struggling. Like they've been struggling for years. They needed to clean. They needed to do something. I didn't really have a problem with the new logo and the new setup and everything because they needed to reinvent themselves, probably get younger. But then, boy, politics is so strong today in America, especially partisan politics. You're either on the left team or the right team, when the majority of the population's not on either team, but the squeaky wheels are on both teams. Obviously, Cracker Barrel is I'm not saying liberal people don't go there, but it's a lot of them are not in the city. They're in like rural areas outside of the city. I'd say their base is more conservative, generally speaking, and getting rid of the dude in the barrel, kind of old school, and going with this new cutting edge look. It got, like y'all are going woke and Cracker Barrel is going woke and all this. And the backlash was so intense, they went back to the old logo.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect example of a marketing team screwing up. And I think exactly what you just said. My opinion is, and I'm a reformed marketer from running casinos. You always need to figure out how to get people to come on in, and you need to do things the right way. And they're no different. They need people. And they were
to know your base.
Yeah, absolutely. And what they needed to do was they needed to refresh it. What they should have done is maybe have Uncle, whatever his name's son, as like coming in the new generation.
The guy by the barrel.
Yeah, if you don't want to have that, but you can't go to what they did. They went to something totally nondescript, and it was intentional. So it wasn't just people being political about it, Corey. I think they were being political about what their statement was. And
you think they went woke, or what would be the benefit of that when they know their base is conservative?
What did
types?
Bud Light do? Why would Bud Light have done what they did a couple of years ago?
I don't, because I guess they were trying to diversify audience, bring in other people, but it's
that's
like,
what these,
but that's like one commercial, and then you're still going to have all the USA and the conservative stuff. This is Cracker Barrel, trying to reinvent themselves when it was kind of failing recently.
Well,
so
let me give you the example. So they definitely needed a rebrand. Their business was down, but they needed to re-engage their base. And the problem is marketers try to make whatever is red, they try to make it green instead of focusing on what's green and making it greener. That's where marketers make their mistakes.
I guess they felt they weren't going to lose the elderly, their base, and they wanted to lure in younger people. I think that's the thing. I don't think it was like a political thing. Do you?
I think there was some politics tied to it. I think it was tied behind.
Well, that's stupid,
we have
then.
way too many of these people and they're dying off. How
That's
are
true.
we going to refill the
No,
business
I get
model?
that's
and
legitimate.
I think what they did was think these people who never came here are all of a sudden going to start showing up. That is a marketing mistake.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
never try to spend your budget and your money and your time on people who have never shown an interest in your product. You would be much better off having like his son show up if you wanted to show the
You're
new
talking about the
generation.
cartoon character
Yeah,
guy,
just
like,
do that. Ease
does he
into
have a
it.
name?
It's Uncle. It's Uncle,
Uncle
something.
Yeah,
H
I
or
didn't-
W. I
yeah,
can't
didn't know
remember.
that.
Uncle Wesley.
So
or something.
it would be like the uncle's son or grandkid.
Yeah, and just
instead of a barrel, maybe something more 2025.
Corey, if they did anything related to that and still cleaned it up, they would have been fine. They totally erased everything.
Now, what about like these stores that are redone that are kind of bright and shiny and don't have that rustic country look? I mean, I think that's probably a mistake too. And
Listen,
the marketing, you just, okay, we made a multi-million-dollar marketing mistake. Let's move on. The store redos are like, how do you change them back to where they were?
Well, I think every area that there is a Cracker Barrel, somebody knows how to refinish something to make it look like it's older. Put up a few more American flags, sell a few things, and all of a sudden you got it there. Rename your menu. Go back to what got you to be popular in the first place. If their food is still really good and people, it's off almost every expressway. So many people stop there on their way to and from businesses or vacations or wherever they're headed. And they hurt themselves by cutting that base.
I've never been to a Cracker Barrel in my life.
I've been about 4 times, 5 times. It was
sure
fine.
it's decent.
It was
Yeah.
fine. It was
if I was like, Hurricane and that was open and that's where I had to go eat, I'd go. I ate one time after Hurricane at a TGI Fridays, the only time I'd ever been to a TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I never say never, but I've never been to a Cracker Barrel.
I just think that's another marketing mistake where people try to turn what's red on a scorecard into green. And you'd just be much better off owning your base even better, showing them you're going to upgrade your menu, update it by having Uncle Wesley's son or whatever it is. And then just, you did your job. Now let's see if you could get the business back.
You can sit there and bitch and complain and say it's, woke, it's conservative, it's this, it's that. All that's just talk. They're struggling because of the move. So they obviously felt that and they moved back.
You
They
have
brought
to.
the guy back in the barrel.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything about that old the old emblem, the old logo that has anything to do with politics overtly. I think just by natural business models, they had older people and that's who skews.
Yep.
So I think what happened is you just can't shake them that hard and expect them to still come back to your business.
Plus, I'd say these squeaky wheels, I always mention the extreme left and the extreme right. They're very, very sensitive.
Well, you need to know that as a marketer, though. You cannot forget that that's out there.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Let's hit the phone lines. 766-9480. 766-9480. It's the real deal. Dan Reel's with us in studio. Lots of topics, lots of opinions. Trey joins us in Old Metairie. What up, Trey?
Corey, I can't believe you haven't been to a Cracker Barrel. Are you just too good for that?
Am I what?
He said, are you too good for that?
Too good to go into a Cracker Barrel?
I'm not too good for anything.
It's an American icon. Let's go.
I'm not too good for anything, Trey. I'm just like everybody else. But I've never been to a Cracker Barrel. I don't know why.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Hey, I got a question for the real deal.
Hey, all right, Trey.
You feel bad for those Alabama fans. I feel terrible for them. They've never started 0-1. I don't know how to deal with them and console them. Can you help?
Well, you're coming to the wrong guy to help, and Corey's right. I think a few cocktails will do, but I don't think that's a problem with Alabama. You know what, Trey? I think they focused too much on their rush over the past weekends and making sure they look good on social media, and they fell short on the field. They're going to have a tough year this year. Kalen DeBoer is going to feel the heat. And
Already feeling it.
The only thing that I will say that I feel a little bit sorry about is my daughter is a sophomore there. So I do want them to do well because she enjoys going to the games. But Trey, you're calling the wrong show to get some Alabama love.
Yeah, Trey. My niece just got married. She went to Alabama. Her husband's from Alabama. During the rehearsal dinner a couple of weeks ago, at the end of every single speech, roll Tide. So hard to get sympathy from this group.
But there you go, Trey. I don't.
Cracker Barrel.
That's it. He just brought up Cracker Barrel again. Alabama fan, Cracker Barrel. That's the red meat. That's their that's their customer.
No, Tuscaloosa, country town. No doubt.
You're not going to get Rhodes College or any of those to support Cracker Barrel.
No, I don't think.
Trey, you know what's up. How'd you end up with Alabama?
Oh, I got in.
It was your safety school?
Yeah, it was my only school.
Yeah, no, I can relate. Back in the day, I got into LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama. Like anyone could get into those schools. Now, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Alabama's got really higher academics. I wish LSU and even like Ole Miss would try to, do what Alabama's done. The last 30 years, and it predates Saban, they focused on academics. They have more national merit scholars at Alabama than any other public university in the country. So my niece is living in Birmingham. Like, they're smart.
Yeah.
They bring her there. I asked her, why'd you go to Alabama over LSU? LSU was the buildings were old and crusty, and it was a dirty campus. That's what an 18-year-old told me years ago.
Yeah.
So Alabama's doing things right. I think LSU needs to follow that lead academically, what they're doing.
Yeah, I wish my daughters, I have 3 of them. 2 of them are in college. One's at Ole Miss, one's at Alabama, and I have a senior in high school. And I'm hoping she goes LSU. It would be nice to have her close, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Anything else, Trey?
No, y'all have a great day. Really enjoy when the real deal comes on. Appreciate you.
Me too.
you, Trey.
Me too. Thanks, Trey. That's why we got him, Trey and Old Metry. I'm too good for the Cracker Barrel. Is that the image I push out there?
I just don't think you hit the expressway too often.
I do, but I drive right by the Cracker Barrel. I don't even honk the horn. Yeah, some girl called me Bushy the other day. Yeah, and I was like, all right, let me go look up bourgeois, and I was like, well, that's what I am. I'm just kind of a food snob, man. I'm a New Orleans guy, Dan. I admit it. I'm a food snob, but I'm not better than anybody else.
Have you ever been to the Waffle House on Canal?
I have never been to the Waffle House. I call it Awful House, like take the W off. But I've been to an Awful House before, probably twice, 3 times in my life, maybe.
You are a food snob then.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with some good hash browns.
At the Awful House?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They fight all the hurricanes too. They don't close.
No, you're right. 24 hours too. There's one not far from my house. Coming right back, the real deal.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Leadville family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Leadville company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
As New Orleans as the mighty Mississippi, Corey Johnson.
The old miss, the old man.
On 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Deep River, my home is over Jordan.
It's the real deal. Dan Reels with us in studio every Tuesday afternoon, usually in the 4 o'clock hour. Today doing it in the 5 o'clock power hour. This mayor's race, I guess, is about to heat up. Your guy, Royce Duplessis, gaining momentum, but I don't see Helena Moreno going down. It seems like he's gaining momentum, taking Arthur Hunter's votes, taking a lot of Oliver Thomas's stuff. But
see the update today?
No, we got the latest poll.
I didn't get a poll, but he announced his financials. The last time he had money, it was $19,000.
Well, we had about 250,000 the last time I saw it.
That was the next. It's over 600,000 now.
Wow, are you
So
serious?
He's in the game.
Holy smokes, he
Yeah.
has over 600 now.
He does.
So in the last 4 weeks, he's raised about 250 to 600, about $350,000.
And more than he had the whole
doubling.
time.
No, more than doubling
Yeah.
the 250.
Listen, when
that's
he came
impressive.
back in,
That's impressive.
when he came back in after not running in January and coming back in June, I said, somebody's got to be out there to support him.
Yep.
You
No.
know-
And I'll tell you what, a lot of that's white money.
I don't know enough about who.
I'm just
brought that
talking the
money in.
economics of the city, There's a lot more wherewithal with white folks than black folks. I'm not saying black folks haven't donated, but I guarantee you that's a lot of white money going to Royce Duplessis. That's amazing. I got some white uptown friends, conservative. They're voting for Royce Duplessis. You mentioned him.
Well, listen,
and Thomas is going down. Do you know the other dollar amount?
I don't. I just know the update.
That's
for Royce.
impressive as hell.
Yeah,
From 250 to north of 600 grand. That makes him viable.
Absolutely.
Plus that money, you need it now. Like Helena Maria could have over 2 million. You can't spend 2 million in a month. Not in New Orleans.
No,
it's a month. It's 6 weeks out.
I think we got a horse race. I think
5 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah, I think Oliver drops out. I think they go to a little bit of a mixture of.
You think Oliver Thomas is going to drop out of this race?
I do. I think in order to make sure that we have an election instead of a primary victory, I think he's going to drop out. Royce is going to be able to make it a horse race, and he's going to need that last month before the election to really sway the rest of the votes. I think he ends up winning. I'm calling that right now.
Wow.
I think he ends up winning by making it into he's not going to win the primary. Oliver's going to be out, and then he's going to win the race by winning the last month.
I just don't see Oliver Thomas dropping out of this race unless just the numbers plummet and money isn't coming in. I'd like to see if he's raised any money the last, few months. But the last polls we saw, Helena Moreno is just hovering at 47%, unaffected. Doesn't go down, doesn't go up, just stays there. Hunter drops out. Basically, all the Hunter stuff goes to Royce Duplessis, and half of Oliver Thomas's numbers, or a third, went to Royce Duplessis. He's about 2 or 3 points, 4 points ahead of Oliver Thomas now. So I don't think it's like ego or something like that.
No,
I just think I don't see Oliver Thomas dropping out of this race.
Listen,
I don't
no
know.
matter what anybody thinks about Oliver Thomas, he's a smart man.
Yeah, he is. You're right.
What I will tell you is right now, he's probably trying to figure out what is the best move for him. He has to know he cannot win. If either of the other two dropped out, Helena's going nowhere. Royce is going nowhere. But if either of them did, he still wouldn't win the mayor's race. One of the other two people will beat him no matter what. He's shown it already. Before Royce even had money, he went past him. So in order, sometimes in politics, my opinion, Corey, is it's not even as important as how high you're getting. It's if you can't move off your number, you're not making other people believe that you can win.
Oliver Thomas's numbers are going the opposite
That's
way.
right.
And I'm assuming he isn't raising the money that Royce Duplessis is raising.
No, I have to think what he's doing right now is he's going to have his nice little exit, but he's figuring out between Helena and Royce, where do I end up? If you're Oliver, that's what you're asking. He's got value.
I don't know how many Helena Moreno voters are going to vote for Royce Duplessis instead of Helena. I think she's got her base locked. I think if Oliver Thomas drops out, 90% of that will go to Royce Duplessis. I think very, very little of Oliver Thomas's votes will go to Helena Moreno. I think they'll pretty much all go to Royce Duplessis. But then you still got this like 15, 18% undecided. So at like 47%, Helena Moreno just needs to get a little piece of that, and she's over 50% and wins in the primary. If she doesn't, and there is a runoff, she's still at 47% and just needs to get a little piece to get over 50, where Royce Duplessis with Oliver Thomas's, votes, he's going to have like 30-something%. He's got to come up with like, 15, 18 points to win, where Helena Moreno needs to come up with like 3 to 5 to win. So I just don't, I think it's still a 50-50. I don't think anything's changed. I think it's a 50-50 that she wins in a primary. And I don't think Royce Duplessis can beat her in a race, but it would definitely be interesting.
I think the only way it happens is the way I laid it out, which is that they get past the primary.
Yep.
And he uses that last month till November 15th, I think it is.
Yeah, that's right.
So he has a full month.
Yeah,
if
like
he can
about
do it.
4.5 weeks.
Here's
Yep.
what I will say. This is good news for the city of New Orleans. Either of them, we will not end up with any indictments or any police or any issues with our mayors.
There's no baggage.
We may end up with policies we could have disagreed with, or they fall into some traps of the historical problems we've had. I know both of them very, very well. I'd be happy to have either of them as our mayor. And I think we're in good shape as a city.
I'm not nearly as conservative as you are, Dan, but very disappointed that, and I don't think a conservative would win, but I think a Republican conservative being in the race and being viable and raising that conservative money would make it a more realistic race, because a lot of the folks that are voting for Helena Moreno would vote for this conservative person. And then it would force Oliver Thomas, Royce Duplessis, and Helena Moreno to at least consider conservative ideals. And right now, I don't think there's anything that's really pushing that narrative.
Well, money does. So
Yeah, of course. You're right.
They know they don't have a vote in this right now. But what they do know is they have reasonable candidates. Both of those candidates are progressive.
They're they're woke almost. Every one of them's like hardcore left.
Listen,
these aren't moderate Democrats.
But they're going to come to the center on a lot of reasonable things for this city. What makes this city go is going to be success and tourism and business. It never changes. You get that. You can also help the East. All tides rise. I just am excited to have a reasonable person who cares about others more than themselves to be the mayor for the first time in 8 years. And we're going to have that. One of those two people is going to win, and the city will be better off for it. Not just because of the low bar by TD. It's going to be because of they both care about this city. And I've seen Royce in Baton Rouge, and he will go across the aisle.
No, Royce is smart. No, and I think Helena will too. And I think you make a good point. If conservatives are donating money, they're expecting something in return. And I think that's a good thing. New Orleans is too liberal. It's too woke. There's not a single elected Republican. I can't name a Republican in city government anywhere, appointed or anointed, much less elected. And just not having an alternative view. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal, whatever, just all of one thing I don't think works. Yeah,
I just
think you need alternative views.
I think there are different versions of progressive behaviors nowadays. I think it's changing a little bit. I think the 2080 issues are wearing on even the most ardent progressives. I think you're starting to see people like Gavin Newsom's an example.
Yeah.
He is a progressive governor, but he's starting to come to the middle because of the 2080 issues. I think what these two will do is they'll come to the middle for the better of the city. And they realize that takes some decisions like a Sidney Torres winning the contract, like other things that make the city rise instead of just what she wants.
Yep. You don't want to just appease, though. You want to actually implement.
I think they both know what to do. I really do.
I hope so, because it looks like a lot of rinse and repeat, people could argue. You got Oliver Thomas, Elena Moreno. They're both on the council. You got Royce Duplessis, the state senator. It's like there's no outsider, but the last outsider was Ray Nagin, so maybe that doesn't work as well.
Well, all I will say is that I never second guessed my opinion on LaToya from the beginning. I've been like this from the start.
Well, you dealt with her day one with, like, deals and things you need to talk to her about, and you're getting that belligerent, attitude. This is what really freaks me out. I think she has this attitude like all men talk like they're in a locker room, so I'm going to talk like I'm in the locker room.
She out locker roomed me. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
I'm not that type of
No,
person.
because most men aren't.
Yeah.
Most men aren't.
No, I was there, and she made it clear that I was lucky to be there. Everyone else likes to have a conversation.
No, and then the cursing and all that.
Listen,
it's like you're not endearing yourself to me.
I'm no choir boy, but
Me neither.
in all fairness, I've dealt with all three of them pretty in detail with all three of them. Nothing has changed. The other two I have enjoyed working with since I've lived here, and with her, I never have. And so nothing's changed over those 8 years.
8 days until Cantrell's arraignment, a week from tomorrow,
Yeah.
Dan. I mean, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I call her Junket Cantrell. The indictment's based off of, they mentioned 14 trips, 70,000 plus bucks. You've got to ground that mayor. The trips are over with. That's got to be, I think that's only fair. I'm not trying to bust on her. I think that's only fair. And then if it's something that, it's important for the city, which it never has been, so why would it be in the future? She can apply to the judges, to the court. I need to go to Albuquerque for this mayor's conference, and they can either give her the green light or thumbs down. But travel needs to be restricted, in my opinion. For that's the main thing I'm looking for a week from tomorrow.
You know what? I have no idea, even being impartial on this, if there would be a legacy left. I mean, crime is because the
NOLA and Fed,
NOLA,
nationally it's gone down.
Absolutely. And secondarily, the cleanliness is because of Sydney beyond what the mayor wanted.
Yep.
So she's leaving a legacy.
She didn't want that contract.
What did she do? And so there is nothing that is there related to her that I think is a success over 8 years. And what a shame.
And people want to, give her credit for like Corona and
it was awful.
It's like the president, and then you had the governor, and she's just following that. She didn't do anything like out of the ordinary or anything special or come up with an original idea on that.
No.
She was following the lead of Jeff Landry, of John Bell Edwards, and of Donald Trump, and what the Fauci and what the feds had put in. She didn't come up with some new idea. And then, my God, the computer crashing, the Hard Rock collapse. It's endless, the negatives. It's endless.
I don't know who could possibly say that this was a good legacy.
Yep. Coming right back.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Leitrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Leitrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Leitrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. Oh, boy. Welcome back.
That wasn't on air.
No, that wasn't, but it's a good thing it wasn't, but it was very, very funny.
All right.
Just missed it.
All right,
I think our off-air stuff might be more entertaining sometimes than the on-air,
might be.
Dan, but it might not be FCC legal.
Yes.
766-9480 is how
Come
you
on,
dial
one more
us up.
call. One more.
Yeah, fire in a call. You stump us. Come up with a topic. We're not scared of any topic, and we're not scared to say I don't know. But
No.
Dan and I both have a pretty decent knowledge on a lot of stuff and aren't scared to give an opinion on it.
I'd love to hear a pro Latoya call.
I'd like a bag of money and free first-class tickets to Europe. That
Just
ain't
not happening?
No, come on.
I
No,
thought-
but you know
I
what
thought
is
that
sad?
was your demo.
But yeah, exactly. You know what's sad, Dan, is the last poll, I think like she had like a 26% approval, and it was like 67% not. But I'm like, what 1 out of 4 New Orleanians thinks she's doing a good job? There's 1 out of 4 people out there.
I wonder if that's a lot of the force that was getting 15 hours a day pay.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's all city employees.
Maybe.
Exactly. You're right. Hey, Tulane and LSU look damn good. Both teams look damn good. Like, I know it's ridiculously early, Dan. Anything can happen, injuries, whatever. But if both teams do what they've done so far, they might both be in the playoffs at the end of the year.
Listen, Tulane's got a great schedule this
They
year.
do.
I think that they're going to have a great.
We'll know what's happening with them in 3 weeks.
Well, do you know we'll be able to see the two of them? Do you realize that Tulane plays at Ole Miss, and then the next week LSU plays at Ole Miss?
Nice.
So we're going to have
Nice.
back to back.
I like that.
Tulane, LSU at Ole Miss to
Nice.
see what you
Yeah,
can't
what they're
usually
all
do the
about.
common denominator.
No, I
but
love that.
That's pretty close.
I love that Ole Miss might be overlooking Tulane for LSU.
That's right.
Is that huge?
It's September
I didn't
20th and then
realize that.
September 27th.
No,
so
I
it's
mean, I
pretty
know
good.
they moved. I wish they would have kept it around Halloween.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
They played like 110 times and like 95 of them around Halloween. Only recently they moved it. But that's a great little stat, Dan,
Yeah.
that Ole Miss could easily be overlooking Tulane for LSU.
It would be great. I don't know if Lane Kiffin's going to fall into that, but it's definitely something.
it's-
If nothing else, we should know as Louisiana residents how these two stack up.
Yep. But how do you not fall into that? You got Tulane, and
Yep.
I know they're good, but they're not a traditional power like LSU, and it's a Southeastern team and all Southeastern Conference team. That's huge. I think they might overlook Tulane a little bit. And Tulane seems really good. They're at Mobile this week. Then it's Duke and Mensa, their old QB at Yeoman.
Yep.
If they can just go 1-1 with Duke and Ole Miss,
Yep.
and then run the table, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if they knock off Ole Miss they're obviously in the playoffs going 11-1 or 12-0. Obviously.
I have no idea which way that's going to go, but I do think it's interesting. I like it. My daughter is at Ole Miss. I'm going to go to one of those two games for sure.
The Grove and that stadium is a great college atmosphere. There's no doubt.
My daughter was not going to Ole Miss when she was a junior in high school. She took a trip to Ole Miss with a friend. She came home, never had another school on her list.
Yeah, no, I bet Ole Miss is a great school. There's no doubt about it. It's a great Southern college campus. It's beautiful. Lots of good-looking women.
Second smallest SEC school, so it's kind of perfect. You know, you got great sports, but you don't have a city that's overwhelming.
What is Vandy the smallest?
Vandy's smallest.
And Ole Miss, I'm going to guess maybe about now they've probably grown 15,000 students.
They've
maybe?
grown. I don't know the actual number. They've grown so much that they're actually they're overselling the dorms. They have freshmen living out of dorms right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're doing real well.
Wow. LSU looked really, really good at Clemson.
What a win.
I haven't seen a swarming athletic defense like that for LSU in years, Dan.
Unbelievable.
Getting back to the future.
Man, you go into a number 4 at home and you beat them. That is a great win. You think back a couple of years, Florida State loss.
Yeah.
I mean, the starts have not been great.
Nope.
That
Over.
was a season win right there.
And that wasn't a 7-point win.
No.
They dominated that team in the second
Absolutely.
half. They owned Clemson in the second half.
It was phenomenal to see. They dominated that game, is right.
And like just hypothetical, they play again, no problem. Like LSU's the better team. There's more talent. There's more skill players. The transfer portal thing was amazing. There's like 5 defensive players that are kicking butt and taking names.
It's amazing.
Last year they brought in a few and they were just like serviceable. They really weren't stars.
Listen,
now you got a bunch of stars.
If you don't win the portal, you're playing in the Citrus Bowl. You know, it's
Yep.
not. You got to win the portal, even if you're a great team. These teams that are getting these 5 and 6 difference makers on top of who they recruited, it's powerful.
Plus that Perkins guy is all over the field again, like his freshman year.
He's
a beast.
unbelievable.
He's so fast and
Yeah.
quick, and they got him playing the right spot. I love Blake Baker's comments. He's basically like, when they see the film, they're going to be disgusted at all the mistakes they made. I'm like, wow, that was a bunch of mistakes. So you got to love this coordinator and this defense.
Yeah, I think it's important that we have an LSU Tulane season because I think Sunday is going to be kind of rough.
I was fading into that. I think Sundays for the Saints is going to be very rough, Dan. The over-under is 4.5. I don't gamble, but I think the sucker bet is the over. I think the Saints are going to win like 4 games. I originally was saying like 5 or 6. I think they're going to win about 4 games. There aren't many stars on the team. And to have a winning playoff team, you need like 8, 10, 12 stars. They might have like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I think ESPN or NFL just put out their top 100 players. Not a single Saint player on that list. When you don't have the talent, when you don't have the horses, it's hard to win. This is the National Football League. Every power poll I see, they're like 30th, 31st, 32nd, like bottom of the league.
What I don't want to have is them play well enough where they don't get the number 1 or the number 2 pick. That is a terrible season. The Pelicans have a way of doing that. They play just well enough to not get the number 1 pick.
Could be the guy 80 miles upriver.
It
He
could
looks
be.
like he's slinging it pretty
It could
good.
be. We'll see. I think it's going to be a quarterback because I do think they're going to have a tough time this year. But I do think they're going to surprise a few games. You know, having an offensive line that finally I think is coming together. I think losing Ryan Ramczyk a couple years ago, you'd see a flag. It was never on him. He was unbelievable. And you had some other guys. Drew Brees was able to go back into the pocket.
Yep.
Last few years, they haven't been able to drop back into the pocket. This year, I think the running game might be surprising. I think they might win 5 or 6 games.
I hope. I just want to see. I don't care if they win 2. Just as long as there's progress. They're in some games in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They end up losing because they just don't have the players, that kind of thing.
Listen,
like that first year of Mora, they went 7-9. They were in games. There was hope.
Yeah.
I just want to see some hope.
Let's let Cam Jordan go out healthy. Let Demario Davis and Pete Werner have a healthy season. Alante Taylor is better than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yep, he is
I think
good.
they're going to be all right. I think they're not going to be very good, but I don't think they're going to be a bag over your head type team.
I think 5 or 6 wins. You got to have the old guys playing like they're young. You got to have some rookies playing like they're older. I just don't see it happening. I just hope, that Kellen Moore and they show progress.
Staley's on the defense now. I think that's good. That's an upgrade. Those are 2 guys that I think are going to do well.
Blue Boy, what do you have on
Uh-oh.
that? Blue Boy's got him at 3 or 4 wins too, Dan.
Well, they're underdogs. So Blue Boy, 6.5 points. Blue Boy. coming up. They're dogs this weekend against the Cardinals at home.
Yep.
Woo! That's rough.
Hopefully the Cardinals are overlooking the Saints. They can pull off some 1-0. That would be incredible.
It
Change
would
the
be.
whole dynamic.
Yeah. They have a chance. They have the second weakest schedule in the league.
Always a pleasure, Dan.
You too, Corey. I was here for the Power Hour. That's nice.
Yeah, see you next week at
All right,
4.
I'll be here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.